Welcome back to Forever Exiled, a Path of Exile podcast. I am one of your hosts, Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, also known as Wrecker of Days.
Today we are going to be having a chat. What are we, 3 days? 2 days into 3.9? 2 days in. So I haven't actually had a ton of time to play it yet, but nice and fresh into it. Have a conversation about some of the stuff that's happened so far. How are you enjoying it so far, Ty?
Oh my goodness, I'm loving it. But I'm playing some pretty dumbed down skills, so it's taking me a little bit of time.
Dumbed down skills. All right. Well, let's talk about what are you trying this league so far for a starter?
Well, I really like my Scion build, but so I wanted to try adding ballistas to it. That was something I wanted to do previously, but attacked range totem just wasn't good enough. So now the ballista support is in, and you can have very easily 4 ballistas. I want to give it a shot. They made the ballista support a lot weaker than the original totem, but of course you can have more of them.
It was right. There was percentage.
Go ahead.
They draw percentage, but then you could have 3. There were two decreases, and then the increase to having 2 additional ones. Right.
So if I'm remembering correctly, the less damage from attack totems went from 30% less to 50% less on ballista. So 20% more reduction.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it went from 30% less to 50% less damage. And then the attack speed also went down to 30% less attack speed. They're really slow, but they hit pretty hard. And then, but they did add, of course, now you can lay 2 extras, which of course the previous one only let you lay 1.
Right.
And then there's really close to, well, I guess it's southeast. So yeah, it's in the southeast corner. There's an easy +1 to maximum ballista summoned.
And this was one of the changes was also that it was always placed in melee range. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you liking that?
That's right.
Like that was one of the things I was concerned about.
No, I like it because my goal in POE, my kind of like a little mantra I have with myself is you always got to keep moving, right? And I find that when I can aim and I'm placing them and I'm strategically going around, I'm standing still a lot longer than I want. And when I'm on PC, I can't focus long enough to aim at where I want and then come back and make sure I'm still safe at the same time.
Right.
So I like just moving around and drop, just little ballista poops going around and having a good time. It's exactly the same way I play my CI Vortex character. So I like it.
Yeah.
But elemental hit got hit surprisingly. Every single other bow skill went up and went down.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of sucked for the build.
Are you still using elemental hit? Is that still the plan for this build?
Yeah, I'm trying to level with it. It's pretty slow. But the starting point's really close to, what's it called? Elemental equilibrium. So as soon as you get that, that's around level 20.
Right.
Then the build really starts picking up. So it's good, but I am finding with a moderate leveling skill set that with the new monster resistances, especially rares and uniques, it's taken some time.
So are you finding it a little bit slower then?
For this specific build, yeah. I'm very curious to see what it's like going with my typical zombies.
Well, gotta be worse.
It probably will be. What are you doing?
Okay, so I actually have a relatively funny and stupid start to this league. So I was a little behind just because of work and everything else going on. And so I actually just got my start this morning and, this afternoon, I guess. And so I had been thinking about it for the past couple of days, how I wanted to start the league. And we had joked about the hardcore solo self-found and I debated it. And I know very well that I'm not a hardcore player. It just would anger me and I wouldn't be happy playing it. So
you're never happy though.
That's definitely not true. I'm not happy dying when I can't get my character. Like the idea of just not getting my character back and having to start over. I don't know how people do it. More power to them. That's not me. And so I decided, okay, well, you know what? I'll try solo self-found. I haven't done solo self-found in literally since they started it when we first tried it in the very beginning. And so I thought, okay, I'll go solo self-found, see how that goes. And I figured I'd go Essence Drain Contagion just because it's pretty easy. I could play it without requiring too much. And I wanted to go Trickster just because there's so many buffs to chaos damage. And so that I had it in my head. I'm going to go Trickster, Essence Drain Contagion. So I have my character list is full. So I basically just always delete my lowest character level player and then just copy that name again. So I did that. It's just easier. I think this one, she turned me into a newt.
I remember that one. I remember the old one.
Yeah, I have a couple combinations of it. Anyway, so I deleted the character, started the new one up, ran up, killed Hillock, and something seemed weird, but I wasn't thinking much of it. But I killed Hillock, and a unique dropped, and I mean it was just Bramblejack, but so it wasn't like anything amazing. But I was like, oh damn, that's awesome! All right, a unique right off the bat. Sent you a picture of it.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I got into town, and you get your first level, just as you're coming into town there. So I went to go put my level in, and I had spent a little bit of time just beforehand, just quickly putting together a tree for myself in Path of Building, and sort of had an idea of where I was going to go.
You actually planned ahead this time. Congratulations.
Just slightly. I planned to like the first 40 or 50 points. Just had a rough idea of where I was going to go, and so I pulled up Path of Building, or I had Path of Building up, and pulled up my skill tree, and I'm looking at the skill tree, going, "What the hell? Like, what happened to the shadow? Like, where? I don't remember this. What's happening here?" I had started a duelist.
I saw you start as a duelist. That's hilarious.
I didn't even pay a single attention. And like I said, as I was running through, I'm like, man, I don't remember. Like, okay, I think it's double strike that you start with the duelist. And so then I was like, well, I got a unique, and I'm in solo self-found. Like, I can't just delete it, right? That just seems, I don't know, it seems bad. So then I started to think like, well, what do I do? What am I gonna do as a duelist? And I love Slayer, so I'm like, well, I could easily go Slayer, and there's a lot of options I could look at. So I went and looked just to see like what are some of the starting skills that I could pick up and just start playing. Maybe they'll be good. And it made me laugh right off the bat. So I'm like, yep, this is what I'm doing. I'm going Spectral Throw, and I'm not sure what else I'm going to do with it. But that's it. So I started off duelist by accident. And so through that, I've decided I think I'm going to go. I didn't want to restart. And then by the time I hit ledge, so we're in like 3 zones in. Yeah. By the end of before ledge, that 3rd zone, I already had 3 uniques, and they were all physical damage uniques. Perfect for leveling. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm doing. Dang. So far it's actually been easy. I haven't noticed a huge difficulty in the content. I've definitely noticed some of the boss fights are a little bit more challenging. They're not hard. They're just longer. I can feel they're a little bit longer. But that also could just be because if I compare it to last league where it was broken zombies, way too easy, it's harder. So I'm not actually sure if it's actually harder. I feel like maybe it's just me thinking of a comparison to 3.8 where it was a joke starting a zombie, minions, anything, which I did last league, and it was way too easy.
Okay. What about the Metamorph stuff? Are you finding those bosses hard, or have you not come across any?
Well, I have done them. I didn't realize until a couple areas in that you lose the stuff. Yeah. I don't know why. I just forgot that it was per zone. But I got one of the uniques that I got from that. I think I got the Iron Ring through that. But I like them because they're actually, even at a lower level, they're challenging. I would say some of them so far have been... Yeah, I haven't died to anything, but they're definitely more... It's kind of fun because you just get some randomness throughout a level.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I'm absolutely loving about this specific one. Like, I didn't pick very strong skills to start with, but I'm excited for the end game's going to be like with this character. But that's one thing I really like about buffing the armor and the defense, but leaving the attack. Like, I found survivability perfect, right? Like, I'm having to think. I can't just stand around and be apathetic. But some of these battles are taking a while. And I love that. I love that. It makes me, it's almost like a really good stepping stone for 4.0 or POE 2. I'm quite excited about it. I got to say, though, for people listening, that Justin and Hillock, they have a thing. And Hillock loves Justin so much that if he doesn't drop a tabula for Justin at the first kill every league, he feels bad.
There's something wrong if that doesn't happen. It's weird how often it does happen. It's really weird.
It is.
I'm not complaining.
No. I'm surprised it's just he doesn't spawn automatically as Uber Hillock and then kill himself just to give you what you should have.
Yeah, kind of should. I mean, this time, though, it was just Bramblejack, so...
Oh.
But I could at least equip it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so... I don't know. The start so far has been fun. I've actually liked Metamorph. I have some real big complaints simple complaints, but we'll talk about that kind of stuff later. We'll bring up some of that stuff later on because it's, overall, my overall impression so far has been actually quite positive. I haven't seen too much, obviously, because I'm not super far into it, but I like the simplicity of it. I like how, for Soul of Self-Found, to me, it seems awesome because to be able to just get more stuff, always beneficial versus normally I always play in the trade league.
Yeah. Oh, I love Solo Self-Found. I would have gone Solo Self-Found, except I wanted to play with you, and then you went Solo Self-Found, so thanks for that.
You could have played Solo Self-Found with me.
Yeah.
You know what we could do? We could make a server or whatever. Yeah, a private league. I looked into it, this league, but I have 3 uniques. Yeah.
When I get 3 uniques, we'll start over.
The thing was, I didn't want, I assume you can just play them with normal stats. Like you don't have to put all the crazy stuff into the leagues, right? You should just be able to just play it like normal. Yeah. Okay. Then I would be up for it. It just, they made it
they all cost money.
I don't care about the money. I thought it made it sound though like you had to pick like some of those options, and some I don't like them. I don't want to make the game different than what it is. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because you can change all of the stuff to it, but yeah, we should do a private league. Fun.
All right.
And then I just wouldn't trade with you.
Money bags. Let's do
it. Trade with everybody else but you.
That's. You remember that old Doritos commercial of the 2 people that live up in igloos, and and the guy's asking for a Dorito. They're just both sitting there on a bench, and he's asking for a Dorito, and he's like, "No, I can't give you one. If I give one to you, then I have to give one to everybody else." And the camera backs out, and it's just absolutely nothing but ice.
That's awesome.
It was.
I've actually really quite liked the start of it. It's smooth.
Yeah.
Gameplay so far has been good. It made me laugh picking Spectral Throw just because I kind of joked about the fact that 10%. So far, it's been fine. I haven't found any content that's super difficult yet. So
I remember a long time ago playing with your Spectral Throw build. You had that like light blue, almost white skin to it, and you had GMP just going nuts. I couldn't even look at the screen. It was that, and then your Molten Strike build that you bought that green. Oh yeah, green skin for.
Awesome.
I couldn't even see the screen. It was those 2 builds that I'm like, okay, I'm zombies forever. There's nothing else I can do.
I think the Spectral Throw build that I did was when Strand was still really strong. And so you would just toss a bunch of them in front of you, and then you would dash just super fast ahead of all the mobs, and it would just follow behind you and sweep everything up.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. That's the one really cool aspect of that skill. I just love that it comes back to you and the different. It's very unique compared to everything else.
I think the only thing that might bother me is it'll probably be a gem swapping setup, just because GMP is so good for clear, but slower projectiles is so much better on bosses. So we'll see how it goes, but I have a feeling it will be a gem swapping setup for me. Okay, so let's jump into some of the bugs then. So or anything, things that you've noticed. I'm going to just start off with my first one.
Yeah, well, you tell me what bugged you. Tell me what bugged you.
The one thing that irritated the crap out of me is I don't want to pick up the body parts. I absolutely hate. They're not even in my inventory. I thought originally you'd like slot them in or whatever, but it's all managed in the back end. So I feel like me having to pick up the body parts is just an extra dumb thing to have to do. So that's my first point, because this is all regarding the Metamorph stuff for me for that. The second is there's no guarantee that you'll at least get one of each part through the zone you're in. So you can go through.
You kill every single
mob.
Body part, you're not guaranteed to get it all.
Right. Twice I ended up with 2 good ones that I wanted to be able to roll, but I was short. I feel like it was the eyes or something. It was one of the top ones. I had killed everything in the zones, and I nothing dropped that, which is a little bit frustrating because I'm curious how that plays out later. I feel like that would just make me skip it. That would make me just rush through the map to finish it and forget Metamorph. If there's not even, I would have zero interest in full clearing a map if I didn't know 100%. You know, like if I happened to get something that dropped that was good, that had a good option for a roll. Yeah. If I didn't know that by clearing the full map, I was going to get the ability to at least roll this boss, there's no chance. I'm trying to think of what league it was. Any of the master ones. We would talk about this in the past. If I get to, this is obviously going back a bit. If I get towards the end of the map and Katarina would show up, I'm not going back. It reminds me of that, where I'm just going to skip it and be like, nah.
We always wish that the master would always spawn at the beginning. You do it, you get it done, and then you can.
Especially those ones like the Toras and the. I mean, a lot of them were all like that, but.
Chris has mentioned in the patch notes that they're fixing, like they've heard the strong feedback. There's a lot of people that agree with you that they're just very irritated to have to pick up the body parts.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of neat. One thing though that I think they'd have to change is picking up the body parts is the only way you know that you've gotten it. So you would have to come up with some sort of different visual feedback that, okay, now you have this part.
Sure, except that by the time that you pick up the final piece of a set of 5, Octavius automatically spawns. So he'll automatically spawn once you have the option of putting your parts in. So granted, I see what you're saying, where you can't see, and Ethan and I were talking about that today, that it's kind of frustrating that the only way to see what you currently have in the zone is to summon Octavius and click it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that one's really lame. What I think I would really like is if Octavius automatically came up once you had the entire set, but instead of needing to click him just to double check what you have or what you're missing, even though there's not really a point in checking, but curiosity always goes for it. If they instead just change that one big square to have, how many body parts are there?
5.
Different? 6? 5? So if they just had 5 small icons that would highlight as you had at
like
least
a red
one
X if you don't have them. And it doesn't even have to necessarily say how many you have. Just tell me, do I at least have one of them?
Yeah.
But I would, for me, I would need to know that I don't know if it's planned to be this way, if this is sort of how it's meant, that you may just run a zone or a map and not be able to summon a boss. But that would probably be one of the easiest ways for me to never do Metamorphosis.
I could see that in campaign not being as big of a deal, but in mapping, that would infuriate me.
I feel like it's important for both, though, because granted, I'm maybe looking at slightly different because I'm playing solo self-found, but leveling is one of the most important times for you to get something, to try and help progress the level and the speed of leveling and, give you a little bit of that boost. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I guess I would just want to know one way or the other. Is this going to be the way it is? And it's just not going to be a guarantee? And I guess that's fine if that's what it is. But I would rather know up front what I'm dealing with so I can just skip right through it. Have you noticed anything else, though? I did quickly see Chris's message that he left about some of the stuff that they've already fixed, which is great. I know people were talking about like the Watchstone altar and stuff, so that's really good that they fixed that. And then I guess they've had a crash. Have you had any crashes?
Nope.
I've had one. It was really weird. I walked into a zone. I went back to Lion Eyes. I couldn't move. Like I just stood there for a few seconds. The game was still seemingly active, but I couldn't teleport out. Couldn't move when I was in there. And then a few seconds later, it just crashed to desktop. Only once though.
It was 3.7 for me where I couldn't even play. I
remember that.
It took them over a month to fix the crash bug. So they just completely revamped Melee for 3.7. And I chose to do a block build, Gladiator, and I was using all the trigger skills.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger skills had a high percentage chance, a high reproduction rate of crashing the game just when they triggered. It was just what do they call them? I guess they're not technically triggered. They're counterattacks is how they differentiate them. So I was running all 3 counterattacks. And Cyclone was also having issues, crash bugs in that one too. And Cyclone was my primary skill at the time. It was just crashing. Like I would use up all my portals just trying to get through the map.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't dying. It was just crash. And it was, I couldn't even do it. So with having experience like that, even though there's crash bugs, and of course there's going to be some really pissed people for some of the crashes that were happening near the end game, but this has been a really stable league in Path of Exile terms, and I'm quite impressed with it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. I was going to mention that to you as well, that I thought this was actually a very smooth for especially because it's big. Granted, we haven't even gotten to that big side of it yet, so it's hard to have much of an opinion yet on the Atlas changes, but for me, it's been smooth. I haven't had any big complaints about the overall gameplay. Just they're minor. The things that have irritated me, like I said, that Metamorph change, I feel like I'm glad that they're at least recognizing it. I'm a little worried because he just said that they would be releasing information on it tomorrow. I think he didn't, or they would be giving their opinion on it or something to that effect. Picking up all the Metamorph parts.
They're going to be making a quick check.
The actual wording, I think, is having to pick up components by hand. We understand this is a hot topic, and we will post more about this tomorrow probably. So it makes me kind of curious, like, does that mean that they're actually going to do something about it, or they're going to say, here's why we think you should still do it? And in the end, it's not the end of the world to have to pick it up, but I was reading people talking about in maps, there being like 17 parts to pick up, 20 parts to pick up. That's kind of annoying. It really slows it down if you have to go back to pick those up.
Yeah. The only thing, like, I agree, it would be nice if it's automatic, because it's not even something that you're comparing for your character.
Can you even filter them? I don't think you can you?
What do you mean?
Well, some of them are white, some of them have blue stats, some have rare stats, some give unique, some give...
Yeah, you can filter them.
Can you? Based on that, though? Based on what they're rewarding?
I believe so. Do you want me to check quick?
No, it's fine. I still don't like it. I still don't want to have to pick them up, regardless. So, yeah. So I guess we'll just see what happens with that. But, yeah. Have you noticed nothing else, though? Otherwise, you've been...
Oh, well, there's one patch note that made me laugh.
Which one's this one?
So you know how detailed Path of Exile is on a regular basis. They give tons of details and stats, whether it's bug fixes or patch notes.
Yep.
The very first 3.90C patch note, it's the only statement. It says, made various cosmetic and balance improvements to the Conquerors of the Atlas boss fights.
Yeah, like no detail at all.
Like, sure, I get no detail for cosmetic, but balance improvements for boss fights for Conqueror of the Atlas. And that was it. Nothing.
It's interesting that after that, too, there have been 2 additional hotfixes for the same patch.
Yeah.
It basically is fixing the stuff that Chris had said they had fixed in Reddit. But yeah, it is a little funny.
I think it's hilarious. Like, is it Hillock? Is it one of the 5 new bosses? Is it the Shaper? I saw somebody say that Shaper is 5 times more health now. They went from like 18 million to 68 million or something like that.
Yeah, I made a note in one of our things.
I guess it's 4.
We can actually kind of go into that right now, because I think we're both pretty good with the bugs. Overall, it's been a good release. I'm really curious. So they said he now has 68 million life, up from 18 million.
I don't know if it's true, but I saw that. Yeah,
that's insane. You know, we kind of talked about it during the patch notes podcast that we talked about, you know, making it more difficult, which is a good thing for the people who can one shot stuff. But then you make it for the people who struggled. You know, I've not really had a problem with Shaper. And once you learn the Shaper fight, you kind of you can get through it a little bit better once you understand the mechanics. It's the same with Uber Elder and all of those fights. But 50 more million health.
Yeah, that's
nuts.
It is. I think the one thing I really like about that is it's no longer a mandatory boss, right? It's like,
sure,
let's say for some reason Exiri's easy for you, but Uber Exiri is absurdly hard. Okay, like, that sucks, but you don't need to do it. Like, it's nice for content if you wanted to do this and get that reward. Sure, great, but you don't need to do it. Where, like, for me, I say my builds can clear the Atlas, but every single one of them means except for Hall of Grandmasters. Yeah. Screw you guys. So it's kind of cool that you have this epic boss, not mandatory, but it's like this epic boss that is really, really hard. Especially, I love that they added it's an easy boss fight. I mean, maybe not anymore. Maybe they changed its mechanics too, but just making it that much longer and harder to kill, that makes it a lot harder, even for people that are familiar with it. And I really like that.
Yeah, so with the Shaper being that high, it's interesting. The thing I found interesting is that Uber Shaper will have less life than just the Shaper. Like, that's weird to me that the Shaper, just the basic Shaper, will have more life than Uber Elder and Uber Shaper.
I don't know. How much does normal Shaper have? Or normal Elder?
They're saying 44 million each, and 30 million is the Shaper Guardians, which is tankier than the original Shaper in 3.8, but that the base Shaper will now have more life than... I mean, again, it is cool because it's, in a sense, not something you have to do, apparently, now, right? So...
These are legit stats, though?
It says it's from Datamine stats, so yeah, I would assume that's directly from the game.
Interesting.
And I'm a little curious how the ailment threshold works, because I know I don't think it's said anywhere yet. I read a comment about it being half the normal life. I hope that's not actually true, because then that makes the ailment threshold still higher than 3.8's ability to apply ailments. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed crazy. So I'm kind of curious with that, though, you know, knowing that they've bumped up health so much. Do you think endgame for you is going to be much different once you get to mapping and doing that kind of stuff? Do you think there's going to be any more of a challenge?
Because I always put defense before offense. So the battles will just be longer for my preferred style of play.
Right.
It's based on the mechanics for me, like with the symptoms that I have and the difficulty that I have and the restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I can keep looking at the boss screen, I can do it. Like there was that one example video that they had of one of the boss where it was basically about squares, right? You had to be on the right square at the right time type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as that's not too busy, I can do it.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't think it will make it necessarily harder, just maybe longer.
Yeah.
Although, I guess it would also depend on what you start rolling on maps. You end up with like boss has increased life, monster increased life. That could get pretty high.
Yeah. One thing I am surprised about with the stats that you just said, I'm surprised that Uber Elder doesn't additively have more than the Shaper solo. Like you would think that there would be an internal rule where that boss fight in total had to had more than its predecessors to get there.
Well, I guess it technically does. Right?
60 million isn't... No, but you said 30 million apiece, right?
44.
Oh, I missed
30 million was the Shaper Guardians. So have you started on console yet? Or are you still just sticking to PC so far for the new league?
Console doesn't start till Monday.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Will you try a different build? Like, are there any other builds you're hoping to try out with this league? I know we're obviously pretty new but...
No, I'm excited to see how the current builds that I have play. What I typically do when I'm on console, like after I'm done playing PC on League, when I go to console, I basically play my 6 guides throughout the week. So if I have time, even if I only have 40 minutes to play, on like Monday, I'll do my slow-mo zombies. On Tuesday, I'll do my RF build. And I just try and get a little bit in, get some gameplay and see how it feels. And it keeps me up to date with the guide replies that I do as well. But especially with new endgame content, I'm really excited to see, considering how those ones on console, I completely mastered the endgame. And so I'm really excited to see how they're going to act with new mechanics that I'm unfamiliar with. So I'm pretty stoked.
Which of your 6 builds took the biggest hit?
Scion.
The one you're currently running?
Scion. Yeah, the one I'm currently running, which is why it's my league starter. Ballista support, as I already mentioned, ended up taking a lot bigger hits than I expected, and somehow Elemental Hit took a big hit too.
Do you find it still takes that big hit once you have all 3 down? Like, to me, based on the stats, it felt like at 2 it would be close to even. 3 should be a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Was that because you're using Elemental Hit, though? Is that because it's combined with the nerf to Elemental Hit?
I think so, but you know what? I was using Ballista support. You don't get Elemental Hit to get Ballista Totem support first, and so I had to pick a skill that I was going to use, and I tried Ice Shot. It's just weak. Like, Ballista support is weak with all 3 out. Boom, boom. It's a slow attack speed, and it takes a long time to go through. It didn't matter which skill I put in. I tried a few. I purchased some that were already leveled from, I forgot her name, Nessa.
Right.
And it was just weak. I even used, was it shrapnel shots? Basically like a shotgun.
Yep. That
was even weak. I'm trying to run through, and I'm just kind of standing there. I got my hand on my face. I'm clicking, I'm moving, I'm clicking. But I just felt like I could have used any other skill. I put in lightning tendrils, which I'm not even basing any of my attack off of spells or lightning damage. And I'm blasting everybody. I put on Ballista Totems with Ice Shot. Ouch. Takes forever.
Is it maybe just a scaling thing where once it's leveled up and gear or something will have a bigger impact on that?
Yeah. Endgame, with 4 totems out, my Elemental Hit would be stronger than it was last league. And I thought it was really strong in 3.8. And it wasn't it wasn't one of the staple builds like Zombies was.
Right.
It's just both skills. I mean, both skills are scaled very poorly but I'm sticking with it just to see what it's like so that I can have accurate replies in my guide. Yeah. I'm pretty excited.
Which one's been your most popular guide so far? This league, I assume.
Slow-mo Zombies is always... it's my oldest one. I think I've been doing it for 8 leagues now. I think I started in 3.1.
Yep.
With Slow-mo Zombies. So it's 8 leagues of this guide. And it's just got a following. So it's pretty popular. I mean, after all the nerfs, people are like, oh, sweet, I'm going to use this as my league starter. And I'm awesome. It's still going to be good. He got 10 zombies.
Yeah. Did you notice the curved lines on the map
Not really.
It made me laugh. I love that that was something that they brought. It just seems so silly. Like, we now have curved lines, and it just made me laugh because I didn't even think about it until I don't remember where I was moving between, and I opened it up and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty funny. It's still connecting the same two spots. They just gave it a slight curve.
That's awesome.
That made me laugh.
No, I haven't noticed. I've heard people asking for their straight lines back, but whatever. I think I remember when they changed the mini map to what it is now. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. You introduce that at an Exile con, you're going to get a big cheer.
Why would people want the straight line back? Who cares?
I don't know.
I wouldn't even care if there was no line. What difference does it make?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
You know what I would like, and I keep forgetting to add a suggestion, which hopefully would not get ignored, but when I'm broadcasting, I want people to see the map mods that I'm running, but I don't want the map to be right in front of me. I want an option to have the mini map in the corner and have the map DAWs displayed instead of the quest.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I would love that. And I think that'd be a huge quality of life feature for people that broadcast.
Yeah, I could see it being beneficial to anyone because then at a glance you can see what the modifiers are on the map and
yep.
what it would be replacing where the quests are, I guess.
Maybe, or just adding to it or having it as an option. I mean, make your HUD as busy as you want it. Pros and cons are in your hands, but at least have it as an option. I don't want to see all the time that, okay, I'm a whatever shaper. I mean, I guess the quests are different now, but you know, sometimes if you're not getting the map drops, you're going to have like an entire week of the same one quest sitting there for Xana. Oh, defeat, you know, the shaper, or the elder at, you know, tier 13 or something. It'd just be nice.
That is a little picky. Give me my straight lines back. All right, so you have a note here for filters because you're a nerd when it comes to this stuff. Oh my
goodness!
Now we are talking the POE introduced filters, account based filters, correct?
Right. So you can actually go. Previously, what you had to do this is still what you have to. Oh, okay, so this is amazing. So previously, you had to either download somebody's filter or learn the long process of making a filter on your own in Notepad.
Right.
And it was picky. I mean, there's websites out there that would debug your filter and tell you where the errors are, which values were true or false, so that you could go directly to that line and try and troubleshoot. Oh, did I forget to put a space after the equal sign? Or, oh, shoot, I didn't put capital T for this. So it was a nice debugger. But now that they have integrated item filters to your account on pathofexile.com. And this is amazing because when you click on the filter, you can choose between a whole bunch of already popular filters. Sure. If there's someone that you're looking for that, half the world that plays Path of Exile uses NeverSyncs.
Yep.
If for some reason you don't like a NeverSyncs or you're trying something else, you could search for it and no problem. Mm-hmm. And here's the really cool thing. You can, when you're logged in, you click on whatever filter you want, and you can click a copy button or a follow button. The follow button just lets it auto update.
Okay.
It's awesome. So when you click follow, it actually goes automatically into your drop down menu in game. So when you're going to select which filter you want, you could just say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to follow this one, this one, this one. And then they're automatically in your game.
Okay.
And if that creator makes some changes, maybe there was an error, they changed the visual aesthetics, or it's just the next league and they update it, every single time you load the game, you get the most recent version of that filter that you followed. There's a copy you don't have that, of course, lets you edit it as well if you wanted to make your own modifications.
You get any notification that their filter has been updated?
I don't know.
The one thing that would concern me is that you as a filter creator create a filter. I go, yeah, I want to follow that one, set it up, and then all of a sudden you make a change and go, I don't want an Exalt, and take it out of your filter. And mine automatically updates.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't seeing it being something where you would get a notification. I don't know how many filter creators out there are pricks, but I guess there isn't really a safeguard for it.
So now when you follow someone's, you can also edit that one. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So there's a copy option and then you can edit it any way you. Now, one thing that I was really disappointed with, and it was the one thing that actually got me into creating filters to begin with, was they were in the game, the sounds, so you didn't have to have it customized and downloaded into your Path of Exile folder, but they had, like for an alchemy, it would be like Orb of Alchemy.
Yep.
Or it would have like Chaos Orb and like, oh man, like the Mirror Calandra one.
Like the Shaper voices, yeah.
Yeah, it was really awesome. They don't have them anymore.
Oh, they're just gone in general?
They showed up as errors when I went to go apply my PC filter and make it public. I wasn't allowed. Sorry, I'm going to do my best to not talk about this.
Go for it.
But one really cool part about creating, or just even if you're copying and pasting your filter into the item filter creator section in the website, is it's actually a debugger on its own. It's color coded. When you type in something like item level space, it tells you, okay, item level is true. This is how you write it down. So you could just hit tab instead of needing to actually get the exact grammatical, like capital I, capital L. It'll automatically do your spaces for you. It'll tell you what values are true as you're typing it. So it's really, really handy. And before you hit apply, it'll tell you which lines you have errors on. It's its natural debugger. So awesome.
So I'm just looking at them real quick. You have the option to follow and the option to copy. Follow automatically puts it as one of your options. Copy lets you create your own version from it. Is that right?
Correct. And every single one you follow will be in the game. Now, here's the cool, right? I've created filters for PC, for Xbox, and for PlayStation. They're all the exact same, but what's really neat is I followed all of them just to make sure that I was getting them. When I load PC, I don't have the Xbox filters there. It automatically filters the filters. So if you one of those people that play on multiple platforms, it still filters it so that if I have 5 Xbox filters and 3 PC filters that I want, it'll only show me the PC filters on PC, which is really cool. And as I just mentioned, console, this actually for the first time ever gives console the ability to have customized loop filters. It's awesome. I can't wait. I'm so stoked for Monday to load it and try loading it, and I really hope it works.
I will say I'm impressed that you're in the top 10 for popular item filters.
I couldn't believe it.
That's hilarious. I couldn't believe it.
But read what's the very first thing I said.
Neversink literally has the first 7.
Yeah.
And then 8 and 9 is Chister, and then you're there. What were you saying? Read what?
Read the very first thing that I said for my first guide, besides hi.
Are you talking about your guide or for your filter?
Filter.
This SSF filter will only be valuable to you if you're playing one of my guides. It's POE's default filter modified to show only what is relevant to my guides. This filter shows. Right. Oh yeah, okay.
And it's 10th.
Yeah.
In PC land, like there's no point. Like you're not, like I don't have claws, I don't have daggers, I don't have anything two-handed.
Yep.
And I'm 10th.
I will say though that the system's new. And you do have quite a few people that follow your guides, and you're a nerd about filters. So I imagine there's notes in there about this, or most of them. Right?
Well, in my guides, I do have links to my filters. I just finished doing that this morning or yesterday, adding links to this set of filters instead of the old ones that I used to provide through Google Drive.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you've got a few of them in there. Hey, good for you.
That's
the idea is actually pretty cool.
The auto update thing is where PC players will use this instead of, unless they're making their own. But if they're following, if they like to use a filter like Neversinks,
yeah, you just can't customize though. Like the follow is cool. I use Neversinks, but I customize it every time through Filter Blade, just because there's some things I want to change. Some of the times I want to see currency differently. Sometimes I don't want some things cut out that he cuts out, especially in Soul of Self-Found.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to see a ton of stuff on the ground. So
yeah, for sure. Sure, wish I started Soul of Self-Found. That would have been great.
Yeah, my goal is to get 90 Soul of Self-Found.
Wow, awesome playing.
I think the highest I've ever gotten was like 75 or 76 Soul of Self-Found. I was laughing, Ethan, that the thing that will pull me out is Wisdom Scrolls. That's the thing that's going to pull me back into the trade league. I'm going to run out of Wisdom Scrolls and not want to pick any more up.
I wonder why they exist.
Yeah. Get out of here with that.
Or portal scrolls even. Why can't you just portal, but not make it an option in a boss fight? You can't portal in a boss fight. You have to finish it.
Oh, I don't like that. I need my portals in some of those boss fights, especially now that they're going to take 3 days to kill them.
So one thing that drives me nuts about hardcore stats is their ability to portal out of any difficult situation.
Don't like that.
Nuts.
Well, I mean, what about the fact that a lot of them just use logout macros? You You don't like that?
No, it's not hardcore.
The problem,
That's sissy core. Just play soft core and just don't die. It's the exact same thing. You need to be able to handle all these tough situations, and a huge thing about Path of Exile is being able to live through an unexpected encounter.
I think a lot of that stuff though started and became a thing when it wasn't because of the content within the game. It was because of the bugs within the game. It was because of the out of sync issues and stuff like that where people were using it. I don't know that I have an issue with the ability. I know if I was playing hardcore, there's no way I would not play without it. Just because if you all of a sudden realized you were in trouble, the alternative to dying is like, I would use it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but would you, if that ability never existed?
Which ability are we talking about?
The ability to portal out of a boss fight. If you could portal, if you were never able to portal out of a boss fight, people would still be playing hardcore very differently. Right?
Well, there's some fights where you can't portal out of.
Some, not all.
No, and I don't mind I don't mind the ability to portal out of a boss fight. What would be the reason to say you shouldn't be able to portal out of a boss fight? You're still limited in a map to how many times you can portal in.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that you're portaling out typically is to get out of trouble or refill your flasks. And you're eating up one of your portals in.
Well, look at the reasons that Diablo has unlimited portals, but a cooldown, or a cast time, I should say. It's like a 3-second cast time. It's so that you can't cheap out. You need to be able to do it in a safe situation. I would love it if they added the Diablo 3 style of portal system for Path of Exile. Who cares? Like, just hit a button and it starts the portal spell time, the cast time. And I think hardcore would change dramatically, and I think you'd have a lot less people being as high as they do because there's a lot of real cheap ways to be successful in hardcore.
The whole purpose of that, though, would just to be making life harder for a hardcore player. Softcore, you're not going to care. So you die, you're right back at it.
Well, it would also get rid of picking up all those portal scrolls on a regular basis. I mean, it would benefit everybody. But to give it a cast time would make it so that you can only do it when you're safe and you're not chickening out of a situation.
Yeah, I guess the other side to that, though, is you're limited to portal scrolls and you're limited to portals in a map. So it's not an unlimited ability to portal out. Like if you take that chance to use up a scroll and use up one of your portals in, I don't see that being that negative. I think the one thing that I still don't think so, even with hardcore or with Path of Exile. I was going to say, you have the benefit when you portal in of that immunity for 30 seconds or whatever it is, but the amount of stuff that happens on the screen in Path of Exile compared to Diablo 3 is not really close. There's so much more happening in Path of Exile than there is Diablo.
Right. But like portal scrolls, they're infinite in their own way. You just have to pick them up. They're just annoying, right? So, but the invulnerability phase and the amount of portals that you'll have in a map, if you're still going to have 6. And when you click on a portal scroll now, it's not like it's not like there's a thing, you only have 4 more portals left, right?
Right.
Like it's going to be the same thing in terms of the portal scroll usage and then the map usage. But the one thing that I think Path of Exile is becoming a lot more stable for one. But another thing to consider, though, is that a good build in Path of Exile can take surprise damage. And if you want to play a way where you're never going to die, you need to put yourself in smart situations so the surprise damage situations are a lot less likely. It doesn't mean they're not going to happen. And if you're going to be in a position where it's a boss battle that you're not comfortable with, well, part of hardcore is being able to beat it without portaling out. And I like that. I like that cast time portal.
I feel like you like it as a softcore player, though. I think a lot of people who play hardcore would strongly, and I don't play hardcore, but I would say they would strongly disagree, just because I'm not sure that having to portal out or use a log out macro makes their build any less viable. It just means that some combo may have come up or something happened. I understand what you're saying. Well, you chose to play hardcore, you build the build, and if you die, you die. But if it was me playing hardcore, I would use every single method that I could to make sure that I wasn't going to die.
Yeah. But I think the thing, though, is that's part of hardcore. Like, you're going to have that bad combo of damage, and it's going to kill you, and it's going to suck. It's going to be a surprise. But anyway.
Well, for the hardcore players that want to throw some hate, it's Wrecker_of_days.
Yeah, PM me or make it public. Make it public.
Yeah, don't do it privately.
No. Cool.
All right, let's
Thanks
hop on
for the filter time, by the way.
I think it's cool. I'm not into them. I'll probably follow the never sync ones, just to see how they work. But POB, we're gonna chat about POB this league. I was impressed.
Yeah, and I love the program. I don't use it like a POB Bible. There are mechanics that it misses, but by no means is it a criticism. What's his name? OpenARL, I believe is their name. I'm hat off to you. It's a fantastic program, and
it was updated pretty quick, wasn't it?
Pardon?
It was updated pretty quick for this league.
Super quick. Yeah. And ever since you got hired at GGG, the updates were, pretty late in terms of, start of a league and post launch. It was pretty late, over a week late sometimes with some of the new gems. And this league was instant. It was really nice. The tree was done the very next day. The skill gems were done. And I want to say thank you. If OpenARL ever hears this, you're doing a fantastic job.
Is there anything still missing for this league for POB? And is Impale still not a thing?
No, it used where
it's not calculated.
Patch notes, any of the update notes that he has, but I haven't seen Impale in there yet.
The one I think I'm going to try Impale with my Spectral Throw build, just because I like some of the changes to it. But it's still frustrating not to be able to see that in POB. Can
it work with a projectile?
But to me, as a support, I can. I don't ever really use it as one of those like stack my numbers, get some huge thing. I literally use it for building my tree. I don't really use it for doing a whole lot into checking into that final damage. My gauge for that is, can I clear a map?
Yeah,
I'm not into min-maxing, and not until later. Maybe when I'm in like a second or third build and I've got tons of currency.
Yeah, for sure.
Solo self-found.
Yeah, it's a pleasure playing with you. Really, really glad you're there. Next time, let me know in advance, okay? Then
Start one.
Self-found it too.
You can start when you're not that far along.
Oh, that's true. But this is slow leveling, okay? It's not something I long to do again.
If I didn't have 3 uniques, I would start the private server right now. But just can't give up on stuff like that.
No, you can't. Especially that first chest piece you got. That's just amazing.
I mean, come on now. You'll never see that again.
Never.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, mystery boxes. They just announced those, I think, today.
Oh,
they are awesome.
They are awesome, especially coming off the Carnival mystery box.
Oh,
they are fantastic.
Yeah, I really liked it. I watched the video this evening.
Yeah. The combo, how they both look when they're combined together. The portal. Oh my goodness!
So you like the combined portal?
Oh yeah.
I think I actually like the two.
That logo, the yin yang logo. I don't really care for it, but it looks a lot cooler than the other two.
I actually think I prefer the other two portals to the combined one. However, everything else they showed, the combined ones looked amazing. They look so good.
Yeah, so good. And they're always expensive. The combined, when they're no longer mystery boxes and they start selling them on the store for the normal price. The combined sets are a lot more than the other, if you're just getting, what is it, Polar and Dark?
Yeah, whatever it is. I have a lot of the Sin and Innocence ones, and people have mentioned to me before that the wings and stuff, which I have the combined ones for that as well, that apparently they're quite expensive.
Yeah, the combined ones are always more.
I'm kind of wishing I'd saved all of my points from last league when I got bored and just bought all the stupid Spectral. What was it? Celestial everything. That was the minion build.
Fantastic.
It was fun to look at. I think I did that like a week before I stopped playing.
Yeah. Well, you got to use it now. Yeah.
It won't happen. It was a fun one league.
Fun 1 week.
I think I lasted like 3, 4. So what's your plan? When are you going to hit endgame?
At this leveling pace next week.
Yeah.
I'll make some time though. But it's the Christmas season. We're going to start having company over and all that kind of stuff. It's Christmas League, right? So going to do my best to make as much time as I can, but there's going to be company staying for quite a few nights.
Let them watch.
So we'll see what I can squeak in.
Let them watch.
Yeah, my in-laws would love to watch.
Merry Christmas.
That's right. By the way, get me some Steam or Xbox money.
Yeah.
I
got to get some mystery boxes.
That's right. Let me explain this to a 60-year-old that doesn't play any video games, and one of them doesn't even own a phone.
It's just gambling. You just want to gamble.
See, hey, mom, see these wings that my character has?
I have a chance.
They
Get
don't.
them.
They don't do anything special. They don't. They don't benefit me. They just look neat, and they cost me $15.
If you get them. But you might get 4 rats.
I might get 4 rats that I could put.
Well, I guess you
in
could
my
actually
hideout.
use 4 rats. You get 4 chests of the same type.
Yeah. I got, what was it, with the Twitch drops that they did during ExileCon? I got...
Oh, did you win some? Boy, were people crying about that. I remember reading that when we were at ExileCon and reading in Reddit and in different spots, people just bitching nonstop about, I didn't get mine right now. I want mine right now.
Oh, I couldn't believe the immaturity and ungratefulness of the community for getting free
stuff.
things, for watching something you were going to watch anyway. And it was so loud that that GGG apologized.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for those guys. That's insane.
What did you end up getting?
I got lava footprints and 4 lava auras.
Okay. Well, you know what? I have not even put on my thing from ExileCon, the portal. I don't even know where it is. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's probably in your download section.
No, you got they gave you a physical card while you were there with a code. And you had to type the code in because Ethan typed the code in while we were in New Zealand. So
that was a good idea.
Yeah, it was. You probably sold mine.
I would have. You're a jerk.
Huh. I'm going to have to find that. It was a portal.
So, but you know what I was thinking when I got a Twitch drop and I was all excited and I got a lava aura. And then I got another Twitch drop and I was all excited and I got a lava aura. And then I got another Twitch drop and I was all excited and I got a lava aura and I got 4 of them. You know what I was thinking? You remember that thing that totally backfired? You would buy this
box.
What was it in this?
What
was it?
It was a box. It was basically where you could refund for a portion.
Yeah.
A reroll,
and then maybe you would get it, but you could even get what you just put in too.
Yep.
I was thinking, how neat would it be if they just had that as a part of the store for free? You don't pay for it, and any duplicates you get, you could combine with something else, and you wouldn't get the same value back, but you'd get something different.
Yeah, I've always wished that they would just give me the option to refund for like 25 or 50% of the value, something, so that whatever, or even like 50% of what it was on sale. If it ever, I don't know how you do that, but I hate the fact that I have many copies of many things that are just, they're just there.
Yeah.
Like I understand why they do it, because there's a financial benefit the way that it is right now. But I feel like even if you gave people a percentage of it back, it would be beneficial, because you just wouldn't feel quite as screwed when you get like 4 of the same boots, because there's no benefit to it at all. None. Like the idea that you can use it on multiple characters is not an argument, because you can do that with one.
Yep. It's an easy click. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one extra click.
But if they had that as a non-paid thing, or just some sort of version of it, I thought that would be really cool. I thought it would be neat to, like, if I had 2 lava auras that I wasn't using, put them in the box together and I get 1 new aura, right? 2 for 1.
I think it would be cool as long as you couldn't do it with stuff that you only had 1 of. Like you would only be allowed to do it with stuff that you have multiples of, because you wouldn't want somebody buying 1 item and then just continuously rolling that 1 item until they get what they want.
Oh, no, definitely not.
But if you said, okay, I have more than 1 of this and I'm going to get a quarter of the, 25 to 50% of the value back.
Yeah.
Save up a couple of them.
What do you think about, even if it was something like 20, let's say you just had 2 different footprints. You trade in, no matter what skin they are, you put them both in the box, and then you're guaranteed to get one that isn't either of those. And because footprints cost different prices, everything within, a theme costs different prices. So not all footprints are the same. So it takes the lowest value, and it's basically 2 for 1. Okay, so you're not going to get the verdant, you're not going to get the ice, right? Let's say those are the 2 themes I put in for footprints. It's going to send me something else, and it's not going to be worth more than the lowest valued one that I put in. Right away, they're getting, that's basically, they're keeping 50% of the profit.
I think there's more involved with what you're saying versus just saying you get 50% back of the value you paid for it. If you paid 70 points, you'll get 35 points back. If you bought it on sale at 50 points, you're going to get 25 points back. because they're always keeping 50% of the value, and then you can use it to roll for something else or get something different. Because if I'm doing the mystery boxes, just because I got 4 pairs of boots doesn't mean I want to re-roll boots. If I have an option, I want to save up like 5 or 6 items, convert them into that 25 to 50% points, and then buy another mystery box.
I don't know. That sounds a lot more strict. I don't
mind it being strict. It's better than what it is right now.
Yeah.
Where you just can't do anything.
Yeah.
And they still keep there's still no way for you to benefit and make more, they're not losing anything in that end. I mean, I guess you technically could say they are, because I would have to buy more mystery boxes to get more of the stuff, but I don't know. Or you know what, if they're not going to do that on mystery boxes, weight them heavier once I already have them, or weight them less likely to roll. Because it is I've had it happen before with buying a 5-pack of loot boxes and 3 of them are the same. And it's some dumb MTX for my base.
Yeah, I got some gold with the really ugly green pirate portals and stuff. I got some gold. Yeah, I don't use it.
No, so I don't know. I wish there was something.
Yeah, it would be nice for sure.
All right, guys. Well, that about wraps it up for the 3rd episode of Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile podcast. Thanks a lot for joining us. Again, I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, also known as Wrecker of Days.
Thanks for joining us and have a great day. Don't forget to check out the show notes below for more information about today's episode. Subscribe and follow us on Twitter at ForeverExiled82.